Today I'm going to show you guys how to create a powerful AI chatbot using ChatGPT, Pinecone, and N8N without using a single line of code. And by the end of this video, you will have a fully functional chatbot that will work for customer service and a bunch of different use cases that you can then integrate into a website, into Discord or Slack, email, or anything in between. So here's the game plan. First, we'll hook up Pinecone as the vector storage for the AI chatbot. Now, this will serve as the memory of sorts for the chatbot, where we'll upload all the training data to so the chatbot knows what to talk about. Then we'll collect all the training data, we'll upload it to a Google Drive, and we'll process it into the AI's memory so that we can use it later. And finally, once we have all that training data saved, we can hook up the AI chatbot to it and start having some fun. Jumping straight into the tutorial, go ahead and create an account at pinecone.io. I'll leave a link in the description below. Once you've created that account, click over to Create Index, give it a name. Now under Configuration, click Setup by Model, and let's do Text Embedding 3 Small. And we'll click Set Configuration. And then once you've got all that done, go ahead and click Create Index. Now I've already created one, so I'm not going to create this one. And it is right here. Then when you're done with that, go ahead and go over to API keys, create an API key, give it a name. And once you got that, you can copy the API key and go ahead and go over to N8N. We're going to go to credentials. We're going to add a new credential. We're going to type in Pinecone API, click continue, and go ahead and paste that API key. I've already saved mine down below, so we're good to go on that. All right, once that's done, let's go ahead and go to console.cloud.google.com. I'll leave a link for that in the description below as well. Then we're going to go over to APIs and services, and we're going to type in Drive for Google Drive and click the Google Drive API. Now you should have a button here to activate it. Go ahead and do that. And once it's activated, it will go to this page here. Now the next thing you need to do is go to your OAuth consent screen here. And when you're here, you should see this screen. It should be close to the same. Go ahead and give an app name. Give it a support email. You just select it from the drop-down. Go ahead and upload a logo. And then down here under authorized domain, make sure that the domain is the same domain that you're using for your N8N. Then put your developer contact information down here, click save and continue. As far as scopes, you can click add or remove scopes. I just add them all by default, click update, then save and continue. And then at the end, we have a summary here. Go ahead and click save. You guys are good to go. Then we're going to go over to credentials right here, and we're going to create a new API key. Okay, click create credentials, then click OAuth client ID. Go application type web application, name it whatever you want. And here for authorized redirect URIs, what you're going to want to add is you're going to want to add a URI that you generate from N8N. So click add credential right here, drive right here, click continue. And this is the redirect URI that you want. So you want to copy this. Go back over to cloud.console.google.com, paste it here, and then click create. Now, I've already created that as well, so we're good to go. Once that's created, go ahead and click on it. And then you should have here a client ID and a client secret. Now, you're going to need both of those, so you add those here, and then you should be good to go. Now we're on the last credential that we need to connect. So go ahead and go to platform.openai.com/API keys, link in the description, and create a new secret key. Go ahead and name it whatever you'd like and click create secret key. Now I've already done this, so I don't have to do it. And go ahead and copy the key once it's created. Go back over here, add a credential, type in OpenAPI, click continue, add the API key, click save, and then you're good for all the credentials for the rest of the video. All right, jumping into the workflow. Now, we have two major workflows that we're gonna be working with here today. Now, I left a link down in the description below if you guys wanna download that, so be sure to check that out. Now, this first workflow here is where we're gonna take the training data and we're actually going to push it to the Pinecone storage. Now, before we push it to the Pinecone storage, we actually have to convert it into a series of numbers. So so that the AI can understand it. You can think of it as their sort of language of the way it communicates, right? Now, I know that sounds a little bit complicated, but there is kind of a simple way of doing that. So looking here at the training documents, I have collected some call transcripts. Now, I'm pretending that we own a cell phone service company, and these are people calling in about their service and about their plan, troubleshooting problems to do with their cell phones and their texting service. This first document is the transcripts of all the conversations that customers have had with their agents. And this second document here is a quick document on how to solve the most common types of issues that arise when a customer calls into this call center. Now, I went ahead and added both of these documents into the same Google Drive folder that we're going to be connecting in order to upload the data into the Pinecone storage. Now, of course, this would be the point where you guys would probably do something different than me. You don't have to use a Google Doc. You can use PDFs. You can use CSVs and Excel sheets. You can use a lot of different types of file formats to train the AI so that it can do anything that you want it to do. So be creative here. All right, so jumping into the first node. Now, this first node is a Google Drive trigger. So whenever a document gets uploaded into the Google Drive folder, it will automatically trigger this part of the workflow. So let's double click on that. You can select the Google Drive account that we hooked up previously. Once that's done, we're going to pull every minute, and we're looking for changes involving a specific folder, and I'm checking the folder called Pinecone Documents, which is the folder that I created to save all these documents. So I'm going to go ahead and fetch a test event, and we can see that it grabbed one of the 2 test documents, so that is good. So now in this next node, we actually have to download the file. Even though uploading the file created a trigger, it doesn't automatically download. So we're going to download it here. We're downloading it by ID, which as you can see is right here. So all I did was drag this ID over right here, and bam, we're good to go. So let's go ahead and test that out real quick. And we can see we've grabbed the file, and it's a blob called data. All right, now that we've downloaded the file, now it's time to upload it into the AI's memory, aka the vector storage. So in order to explain this, I'm actually going to delete this entire part of the workflow because I think it's a little bit easier to explain one piece at a time. So here on the right, let's go ahead and add a node. Let's type in Pinecone, add the Pinecone vector store. We're going to select add documents to vector store. Then we're going to select the Pinecone API account that we connected earlier. We're going to go insert documents, and the Pinecone index, we're going to grab the vector store that we created earlier in the video. Now jumping out of the vector store, let's go ahead and connect it to the Google Drive. Then under embedding, click the plus button, and let's go ahead and add embeddings OpenAI. Now here, you want to make sure that you use the same embedding that we used earlier in the video, which I told you guys to use text embedding 3 small. That one is really, really great for smaller documents. It's really, really fast. If you use text embedding 3 large, it's a lot slower. Now jumping out of that, let's go ahead and click plus on document. And we're going to put default data loader, which is beautiful. And the type of data, we're actually going to change this to binary. Now, why do we do that? Because here, when we download the file, we're actually downloading the file in binary. If we wanted to extract the text, we could extract the text, but there's no real reason to because it just creates an extra step in our workflow. Jumping back into the default data loader, after that, we're going to load all input data because we want the entire document, right? And we're going to automatically detect by MIME type. Now, what this does is it automatically detects what type of document it is. So it doesn't matter if I upload a PDF or a docx or a CSV, it will automatically process the document correctly. All right, so let's add the text splitter. Now, we're going to go with the token splitter. You could use the character text splitter too. It works pretty well, but we're going to stick with the token splitter. Now, what does this do? We're chunking the document into tiny little bite-sized pieces so that when we save it into the database, the AI can read the chunks really quickly instead of trying to read the whole thing at once, right? But when we do that, we need to make sure that the chunk size doesn't get too big that the AI can't process it. So the max size for the text small that we chose earlier is a little bit over 3,000 as far as the chunk. And we want to add a little bit of overlap for each chunk. Now, the reason why this is because we want the AI to have a little bit of context of what came before it and what came after it, so it can sift through the information a little bit faster. So I recommend a chunk size of around 3,000 and a chunk overlap of about 200 if you're going to be using the small text embeddings that we chose earlier. I know vector databases can be quite confusing, so if you guys are having any trouble, I'm offering a free 15-minute call to help you guys out with any problem that you might have. So if that's something you need, go ahead and check the link down below. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and click Test Workflow. Now, just showing you guys, we're going to start off with just the call transcripts here. So click Test Workflow. We're going to see what happens. And we can see that it did something. We can see it outputted something too. Looks like we got a blob with page content here, so it looks like it's good. And to show you guys at work, let's hop over to TED. Now, TED is our AI memory. And as we can see, we now have a few different indexes here. And if you click show more, you can actually see the conversations that were being had between the customers and the agents. Now, of course, these aren't all the documents we need. I have one more document I'd like to use to train it. So I'm going to go ahead and upload that document now. All right, now we have the resolution document successfully uploaded. So let's go ahead and run it again. And now we have all of the documents that we need uploaded into our AI's memory. All right, now it's time to connect the AI chatbot to its memory so we can start interacting with it. So go ahead and add a question and answer chain. Now I already added one right here. Configuring that, we're going to take from the previous node automatically. Once that's done, we're going to add the OpenAI chat model right here. We're going to use the OpenAI account we connected previously, and you can use whatever model you want. For this, I'm going to use the 4.0 mini. Now let's connect a retriever. This will retrieve the data from the database that we just created. Let's go vector store retriever. Now you don't have to mess with this one. Let's go to vector store, and let's choose Pinecone. We're going to retrieve documents from TED, which is our AI's memory. And then below that, we're going to add the embedding here, which is going to be embeddings OpenAI, text embedding 3 small, the same embedding that we had previously. All right, let's go ahead and just test it out and see what's going on. So let's click on chat right here, and let's say, hey, my cell phone service is not working very well. Spelled very wrong, that's fine. There we go. Now it's acting like a customer service internet. Let's say dropped calls and slow internet. And there we go. You can see it's interacting just like a customer service agent would. Okay, and to prove that it's just not hokey pokey and it is the documents that we uploaded that trained the AI, I went ahead and deleted the entire Pinecone database. Now let's go ahead and chat with the AI and see what happens now. And as you can see, it's not being very helpful. It's just saying that there's an outage and to contact my cell phone provider, but the chat is supposed to be my cell phone provider. So obviously it's not working right. Now, of course, this isn't going to be very helpful for you if you don't actually connect it to some sort of outside app. So I wanted to give you guys a brief overview of what that might look like. So first and foremost, we have the webhook trigger. Now, with the webhook trigger, we can basically grab information off of any app on the entire website. And whenever they send information to this link right here, it will trigger the workflow. Now we'd want to change this to a post method, and we can add whatever authentication we need. And then from there, we just connect this over to the question and answer node. And whatever comes in through the webhook will automatically go through. And then at the end, we might put here an HTTP node to do an API call outside of the N8N platform. Outside of that, we can also add an IMAP trigger here. And basically, whenever an email comes in, it'll go ahead and process. Then we can add SMTP email out, send email right there. If you just go to on app event, you can see all the different apps that we can connect, and virtually any of them could be useful to use an AI chatbot. Now that you've set up your AI chatbot, why not take it a step further and become an expert at connecting APIs with N8N? If that's something you're interested in, please be sure to check out my video on that. And before you guys go, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have a wonderful day.